Hello YouTube, I am back from Japan. Today I really need to unpack because we got back a couple of days ago and I still haven't unpacked because I wanted to make a video that is kind of backwards packing video, obviously unpacking video. You clicked on the thing so you know what you got yourself in for. I had a lot on before we left, so I didn't have time to record a packing video, but I figured an unpacking video is probably just as useful, and I can talk to you about some of the things that I like to do when I pack when I go on holiday. And I tested out some little travel hacks and tips for you guys so that if you want to have some better times packing, then I've done it all for you. So I've been to Japan a bunch of times. I've spent probably a total of at least 6 months there in my life, and I'm very familiar with the climate, with the culture. So I think that the first tip that I have when you're packing for anything is to research the place you're going to and also research the climate. I knew that we were going to be there at a time when it was warming up, so I knew that I didn't have to take too many bulky things. So that's why I decided to only take a carry-on sized bag. Specifically this one, which I still need to unpack. I also took a backpack and a little handbag because that just seems normal. In terms of my main luggage, it was only this carry-on size bag. My husband had a slightly bigger bag than me, so on the way back he managed to fit in some things that I bought because there just wasn't enough room left in my bag. Let's get into it, shall we? I also really need to unpack because I've got the sniffles today. I went out last night, had a couple of drinks, and I'm allergic to sulfites, and we had some Aperol spritzes, and there's Prosecco in Aperol Spritz, which is full of sulfites. I need to unpack because the friggin' antihistamines are in the bag still. So it needs to happen. Also, like, half my makeup is in here, and stuff that I want to wear. So let's get to it. Alright, maybe I need to just tilt you down a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Welcome to my bed where the magic happens. So this is what we're working with. Show me what you're working with. Toiletries, everything else. My hottest tip in the whole world, and I cannot believe that people still are traveling without using these things, but that is to get your hands on some packing cells. If you don't know what packing cells are, they're basically a way to compartmentalize all your stuff when you're traveling. I usually do like my main clothes, underwear and socks, and then one that's maybe like activewear, pajamas, extra bits and pieces. For this trip, I did exactly that. And while I'm traveling, I change one of the smaller ones. I have 2 small ones and 1 medium. I change one of the smaller ones into my dirty clothes. So then I can consolidate all my dirty clothes, which is this one right here. So then when I get home, I know that I just have to take that and put that in the washing machine, and then it's done. And I have not yet done that, and I really want to do some washing. Tip number 2 is about folding versus rolling. There's a big argument about this in the world. There's like an efficiency ratio of, oh, this smells. There's an efficiency ratio of how much you can pack folding versus rolling. I myself, in my daily life, I am a Marie Kondo sort of person, well I try to be, at least in terms of the way she folds stuff. The way she folds stuff and stacks things vertically in a drawer is genius, because then you can see everything at once. The benefit of doing that also when you're traveling with packing cells, only works if you have packing cells, is that you can basically see everything at once that you've brought, which is cool because then you're not like digging around in your bag. Just back to packing cells. If you need to find something inside your bag, and you need to like unpack a little bit of stuff, it makes packing everything away so much easier, and also it kind of gives you a little bit of privacy. Like, have you ever opened your bag in an airport or at a bus station or something and everyone can see everything inside your bag? Whereas if it's kind of hidden behind a bit of mesh, like it's less problematic, I feel. Moving on. So I'll show you how I did my packing of my clothes. So this is my main packing cell. It has my pajamas straight on top. They need a wash, but you can see I've got a bunch of tops lined up. Can you see? I don't know. So you can see I've got my main packing cell, and I've got tops lined up. On this side I've got another top, skirt, a top, a dress over here, and then some slightly bigger things I actually lay at the bottom. And because I know that I haven't brought that much stuff, I just know that it's there if I need to wear it. The last thing that I would say that people need to know about packing is utilizing your bag to the best of its ability. So because this is a carry-on bag and it's got the pulley handle at the top, it means inside there are those ridges. So what I do is I basically I fill out those ridges with other things. So, capsule toy. So what I've done in this situation is I've got one of my sandals sort of sitting in the main ridge there because it's wide enough. And then at the bottom of the bag, I've got some like souvenir things that I bought. My pair of jeans that kind of sits at the bottom, and you can kind of fill up those gaps before you start stacking everything else on top. The last thing I'm going to say about this stage of packing is that a lot of people pack their undies and stuff in this top panel, which is good because you can see it and it's like kind of shallow and stuff. But what I like to do, I like to reserve that for something that I know that I might need to access quickly, or something that needs to be like a little bit flat. So in the top panel, I packed these trousers, which I like to kind of keep flat. And then I also have my raincoat because Japan is a very rainy place, although it didn't rain that much for us, which was very nice. Thank you, Japan. I knew I would need that handy. In fact, we arrived and then on the way traveling from Tokyo to Hiroshima, it started raining and I needed to access this raincoat very quickly. So that's what I did. I feel like that's part one. That's part one done. Let's move on. Let's move on to part two. Part two. Part two is going to be about toiletries. So if you're a member of my family, which maybe you are, hello family, we call this a wet pack. So if I suddenly start calling this a wet pack, that is why. This is my wet pack. It is probably one of the best purchases of the last year that I have made. It is called La Poche, which is French, I think, for the pocket or pocket. And it is a fucking bowler toiletry bag. It has a hooky thingy, which is more handy than you would imagine. The thing is chock-a-block full of pockets, which is great, because if you're a girl, you know how much you value pockets because they're never in your fucking clothing. Up top is where I keep my makeup. In the front, I keep my medication, special creams and stuff. Very handy little case. Inside, there's more space than you realize. I didn't need to take that much stuff. Having been to Japan a lot, I know that every hotel, every Airbnb, they have body wash, decent shampoo and conditioner. So I knew I didn't need to take any of that myself. But if you are going to a place where you are unsure if they're gonna have the products that you need, don't waste your time buying the like little versions. You can buy some of these reusable clear containers. They're 100 ml, they're marked as 100 ml, so you can take them carry on if you need to in your little plastic baggy thingy, and you can refill them with your own products. So I have had this set. You can see how long I've had this because it's all like ridged from me squeezing it too hard. I would have had these for easily 10 years. Easily, maybe longer. That's the beauty of plastic, that it's indestructible unless you put it near a fire that melts. Just straighten this shot because it's driving me mad. The bed head is crooked, it's still crooked. And then this is a great way to show you the inside of this bag. It's got all these little pockets around the sides, and then that gives you even more space in the main stuff and things aren't going to mingle. Finally, at the back, there's a secret little pocket where I keep all my drugs. Oh, hay fever medication not in here. WTF, bro. I highly recommend this doodad. I feel like I used to fit half as much stuff in a thing almost twice the size, and now I can confidently know that I have everything I need. Alright, part 3. I'm going to show you all of the clothing and shoes that I took. Things that were really great, the things that didn't quite work, and the things that I just didn't fucking wear. Hello, I've moved again. So, I need to organize this nicely so that everyone can understand what's going on. So, I took 3 pairs of pants, which I wore all 3 of these. I took 1, 2, 3 dresses, 2 out of 3 of these I made myself. I wore all 3 of these, very handy. Grey one, if you know my videos, you know that I have a deep attachment to this dress. I can't let it go. I need to let it go. I can't let it go. That's a lie. I took 4 dresses. Actually, I lied even more. I took 5 dresses. 3 out of which I made myself, 4 out of which got worn, 1 did not get worn. This is a dress that I made myself like 2 days before we left. I wore it a lot. I love this dress. I'm gonna make a video about how I made this dress soon, so make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss that video. I also took this dress that I bought just before we left. It's a really nice dress. It's bright green and it's kind of sexy. I took 2 skirts. I took a stretchy skirt, my checked stretchy skirt, which I made myself, and I took my caramel suede skirt, and I wore both of these a lot. Very comfy, very easy to travel in. They don't get crinkly because they're made of stretch material. I took 3 tank tops, 4 tank tops. I took 4 tank tops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 t-shirts, and 2 long sleeve tops. Can you see all of that? I don't know. I wore everything except this purple t-shirt because I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood. I lied again. I took 7 tops. And then finally I took my raincoat, activewear. I did not exercise as much as I had planned to because we basically just ended up walking all day, every day. I got like 20,000 steps a day, 3 weeks. And there were a couple of big hikes that we did that we kind of ruined ourselves, so I wasn't really in the mood to exercise. I wish I'd exercised more because I feel like I had some funky mental moments being away, reflecting on lots of things from my life, and I wish that I had knowledge that I needed to move my body a bit more. I also threw in at the last minute, I threw in a pair of tights, which was very handy because I only wore them once, but I'm glad that I had them because we had a cold day in Tokyo that was kind of unseasonably, it was abnormally cold. And shoes wise, I took these black sandals, which I am obsessed with. I tossed up taking my Birkenstock. Birkenstocks would have been a little bit more comfortable, but these are a great way to sort of elevate an outfit. I also took these New Balance sneakers that I bought. If you know anything about traveling in Asia, you have to take your shoes off and on a lot. And the footwear of choice is usually a sneaker that's done up very loosely, so you can just sort of slip it on without untying the laces. And I think shoe horns are probably now one of my favorite things in the world. Alright, a couple more things that I took. I took my runners, which are just very black, simple. They are probably the most boring thing that I own in the whole world. I did actually wear these one day with my grey dress because I knew we were going to be doing a lot of walking, but I didn't want to wear just like activewear. And they're kind of passable as like a lifestyle sneaker, even though they're runners. I took my yellow cardigan, probably needs to be retired because it's just looking a bit sad and old. And the real hero of the whole trip is this piece of clothing, which is technically a long dress, but I wear it as a kind of light coat. I just tie up the belt at the back like you might do with a trench coat. Basically, wearing this long thing over other outfits, A, was like a little bit warm, B, it gave me pockets because this thing has pockets, and C, it kind of elevates it a little. To me, it just made me feel very classy. Also, it's like a super Japanese sort of look, so when I travel, I like to sort of not blend in because that's impossible for me to do in Japan, but I don't like to look like I'm some sort of tourist with no idea. I also like to just keep my personality shining through my clothes. I also took pajamas, which need a wash, so I'm not showing you them. I also took a cozy, which I didn't wear. It was a waste of space, but I kind of feel like I would have regretted it if there was an opportunity to go swimming and I didn't have a cozy. I also took a canvas tote bag, which was handy on days when I wanted to carry things like my camera and other few extra things. So this is everything clothing wise that I took. You can see that there's a little bit of a theme in terms of colours. I've got some blues, pinks, maroons, purples. I've got some greys and blacks. I have a little bit of orange and brown, and then finally yellow into white. The split complementary colour of yellow is blue, so those things are automatically going to go really well together. And then I bought that orange top on a whim to go with these orange pants because you can see there's like a little bit of orange fleck in there, which worked really, really well. As well as the orange top goes really well with the checkered skirt because there's like a few orangey tones in there, and then my knit tank top also goes well with that, also goes well with this skirt and with jeans obviously. So to wrap up, I wanted to say that when you're packing to go away somewhere, you want to think about the color schemes so that everything you have in your suitcase, you know, is going to go together. Pack lots of options and separates. I regret bringing as many dresses as I did because I didn't wear the green one. I did wear everything else, but I probably could have doubled up a little bit more. Same thing with the tops. I didn't wear 2 of the tops, and I probably could have done with like maybe not as many tops. If you're not big on exercising on holiday, then you can save room. You can buy yourself some space by not taking activewear and not taking runners. I love running while I'm overseas because you get to see a place at double the speed and you kind of get scoped out a bit. I went running a few times, although I've got some injuries which kind of hold me back from doing more. All in all, I was super pleased with how many me-made things that I took with me. I took 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things, and yeah, it just really made me feel like myself. It was great. One more travel hack that I was gonna tell you about. Things that I would definitely do again: always packing cells, always really considering the footwear that I would need, and definitely I recommend a raincoat. It can double as a coat when you're cold, especially if it's like a proper wind blocking one like this one. It can also just be like a layer of clothing. You don't always have to wear it when it's raining. Also way easier to pack and deal with than an umbrella. The last thing that I'll definitely do again is this hack that I learnt about from one of those articles on Facebook, because I'm a boomer, and that is foundation. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't like carrying around a lot of makeup when I travel. I think it's dumb. Unless you're going to like a wedding or something, obviously you're gonna need more. But this was just like a regular trip. And the best hack that I've ever come across for a like toiletries perspective is to use a contact lens case to take just a little bit of foundation. So this is maybe like 1 or 2 pumps, and I clearly didn't get through it all. If you don't wear contact lenses and you don't have a contact lens case, then find your friend that does, because I bet they have like 50 of these lying around their house and they'd be more than happy to give one to you. The other thing, if you're in Australia and you regularly use saffron, save the little saffron jar for any medications you need to take. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, please give it a subscribe. Let me know what other travel hacks you have, and if you use any of these, I would love to get your feedback on them. I need to go edit this video now so that it's ready to go up. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.